Hi, tech community. Welcome to lucky number episode number 7 of AWS She Builds Tech Skills. It's Mai here, a solutions architect from AWS, and I'm so glad that it's Friday over here on this part of the world. Now, speaking of which, I hope you're having a great Thursday or a Friday, and we'd love to hear where you're joining us from. So let's test out the chat function here on the right-hand side here on Twitch. So we'll be using the chat function all day today, all throughout this session today, so you can ask questions to our guests who will be joining us live on this show for Q&A. It's Elaine from Trend Micro, so make sure you have your questions lined up for her. Now, you know what? I am super excited about AWS Summit coming our way in Sydney. There was just an AWS Summit that was broadcasting a few minutes ago. So we're doing this worldwide, and I'm super excited that May and I are going to be part of the studio shows coming up for Sydney Summit in May. So we'll be actually live streaming from a desk that we just saw maybe a couple of minutes ago. But remember back in the old days on TV, we had a morning show or a late show. We had awesome hosts and guests coming onto our show. And we'll be talking about all things tech and what's new in tech and at Summit as well. So I'm super excited about that. What about you? What are you excited about, May?
I might. Studio of Late Show is gonna be the first in-person and a hybrid event. So I'm really excited to meeting people in person, see things in action, and actually get to meet you in person as well. So it's gonna be epic. I'm really excited about that. If you're interested to be part of our show and either present on our show, please reach out to myself and Mai, and we're always looking for speakers. And we also collaborate with AWS technical blog teams. So it's not just live streaming. We also create a blog post, technical blog post that came out of our session. So we'll post that details in the YouTube in a minute. Speaking of collaboration, our She Built test skill is expanding. We have our fellow Amazonian in EMEA region. She Built test skill, they are expanding in the EMEA region. And let's hear a little sneak peek from our end.
My name is Chris, and I'm so excited to share with you that we have launched the AWS She Builds Tech Skills Program for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We've been seeing all the fun you've been having down in Australia, so it's so great to be able to bring this to some of my colleagues here across Europe and further afield. So this program is going to bring you every month AWS and external speakers sharing awesome demos, use cases. We're going to get into code. And we're going to teach you about all the skills and all the services that you need to build your career in the cloud. And I'm joined by my co-host, Julia. Julia, what do we have coming up next month?
Yeah, hi everyone. Make sure to join us on April 26th when we will be joined by our 2 colleagues from the Berlin team. And we will be talking all about machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we will have a wrap-up of PyData conference, but also we will be talking about our internal machine learning university initiative. So we have prepared a lot of interesting materials to share with you. So make sure to join us. Just a reminder, it's April.
We will be looking at the USA in the future. If we can expand in a different region, definitely would love to do that. Speaking of machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence, and serverless, this month we are going to talk a little bit about machine learning with our guest speakers. It has been increased demand with the businesses and the customer running the machine learning workload. And, it's going to be machine learning journey customer adopting into the journey to solve their business problem, like improving their business customer experience or optimizing their business process and operation, or even to accelerate the innovations for their business. So machine learning and AI has been a huge demand lately. With the simplicity these days and the scaling of the serverless solutions, it's made a great choice to run the machine learning workloads and without provisioning servers or managing them. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these two technology fit together to solve these business problems. I'm going to turn it to Mai. Mai, do you have any, you're in the field meeting customer, any customer use case or that you have seen that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, sure. Many of our customers have built on AWS serverless services that we talked about today, including Amazon S3 as their object store and AWS Lambda for compute. And one of my customers have built a file upload web app all on serverless with S3 and Lambda, with file scanning on Amazon S3 with Trend Micro Cloud One file storage security. So Trend One Cloud, sorry, file storage security, it actually scans files within S3 for any malware, and it's great to integrate within your workflow, especially if you have your end users uploading files to your system. So when you're dealing with malware, scanning isn't the only problem. Now, the biggest challenge is detecting that malware quickly and being able to take action on it. So malware finding alerts from Trend Micro can be integrated into our AWS Security Hub service for the single pane of glass centralized event management service. And you can have a look at your corrective actions, such as isolating that particular file content and blocking the offending IP address and user agent as well. There is a blog article that we can share around the architecture and implementation on how to get started with this, and I'll include this later in the YouTube description. Now, up next, the next speaker is Elaine Contorero from Trend Micro. Now, she is a software developer and has over 3 years of programming experience and is super passionate about building innovative software solutions on serverless. Now, throughout her career, she's worked in a number of cutting-edge projects from strategy all the way through to implementation. Now, recently, Elaine passed her AWS Developer Associate certification. Congratulations. And we'll be talking about a bit of certification and how to get certified later. And she continues to build these serverless solutions in the cloud. Now, besides work, Elaine mentors those that are starting out in the IT industry, and that's her passion. So welcome, Elaine.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I'm a full-stack developer at Trend Micro. Trend Micro is a huge cybersecurity company. Here we care about each client to be sure that their journey in clouds is safe and protected. So today I'm going to create a simple serverless architecture that would allow to transcribe audio file into JSON. Hope you would enjoy it. Let's start. So our agenda today is quick intro. Then we would consider our big parts of our architecture. Then we would have hands-on and small recap. So shortly about me. I'm a full-stack engineer. My journey into IT started 3 years ago, probably over 3 years ago. I started at front-end side and then moved to full-stack. And probably a year and a half, I started to journey into clouds. And this is a very good experience. I do enjoy working with clouds. And I believe that it probably is a technology of the future. Besides work, I'm a mentor, so I help those people who want to start their career into IT, and I'm happy to support them on this way. Recently, I passed successfully my AWS certification, so if you think about this, go for it. It's a great experience. So let's move into our architecture. We have an input file. It would be an MP3 file that we would keep into our storage. The role of storage today would be for our Amazon S3 bucket. So it would keep our file. Think about probably real storage or folder on your computer. However, it's not on your computer, it is on the cloud. Our MP3 would be like this. Enjoy your journey in the clouds. Great. So, when we put our MP3 file into Amazon S3, it would be considered as a creation action. So we create that file into our storage in the cloud. And it would trigger to run AWS Lambda. You see here a small orange or probably red hat. It means that this Lambda has specific IAM role. What does it mean? It means that our Lambda has a specific role like in a theta. So it is allowed to do specific actions and nothing besides that. The next step would be checking our logs on Amazon CloudWatch. Amazon CloudWatch is a service that allows you to monitor your actions. It's very handy when you work with Lambda to check what's going on with CloudWatch logs. You can see sometimes here any error with a clue how to fix it. So yeah, please keep an eye on this service when you work with your Lambdas. The main service that would do the main job for us is Amazon Transcribe. To be honest, I started this hands-on to have a chance to work with Amazon Transcribe because it's really great. It's like a magic when you have an MP3 file and now you have text. Yeah, it sounds exciting for me. So, as you can see, you receive JSON file. However, it doesn't mean that you download that file from Amazon Transcribe. Amazon Transcribe makes it work, and then it should put that file in our Amazon S3 bucket. So in the same storage, however, we would have specific box for it, specific folder with name transcribed, where our JSON output would be held. So here again is our architecture, and it's time to go to our Amazon console. Alright, here we are. We would start from IAM. As you remember, we need to create here a role for our Amazon Lambda. Let's go to roles and hit create role. It would be a role for Lambda. As you remember, we hit next. And then it's time to select specific permissions. For this hands-on lab purpose, I would add excessive permissions. So in real world, you don't need all the full access for some services. You should pick whatever you really need. So let's start from S3 full access. Then we would need transcribe full access. And CloudWatch full access. CloudWatch full access. Great. So our role should have 3 policies where what exactly we allow our Lambda function to do during its invoking, during it acts for us. So let's name it transcribe handler. Transcribe handler role. Okay, good. Now you see here our policy names. Hit create role. Great. Let's copy the name of that role and go to Lambda. Please be sure you select the closest location to yours. That's really important because Lambda has specific regions and it really matters then. So we start from scratch. We would name it transcribe handler. I would write it on Node. We would change default execution role with our freshly created one. It's here, and you just run create function. Now it has a default export handler, and we would change it. Let's check firstly that our Amazon Lambda does not connect with any other service. So it's like a thing itself without any connections for now. I created a code for this Lambda. It is written with JavaScript. Let's check it quickly. So we have two dependencies. We have one dependency, AWS SDK, and that allows us to call this transcribe service for us. Our exports handler has specific input. It is event. Event would be a creation action. So when we put something on our S3. So we would have some records. So we keep event.records. We select the first one. We would invoke its object and bucket. So it's important for our location where would be our input location, and then we would put here our output file, JSON file. Here are parameters for our transcribe service. So you can see here that transcription job name should be like this. Language is English. Media format is MP3. If it is an error, please console log. If or nothing, console log data. So we would copy this code and paste into our handler here and deploy. Great. So for now our code is deployed and our Lambda is waiting to be invoked, to be run. We go to S3. To create a bucket. Let's name it transcribe she builds. Okay, let's keep it default. Let's enable encryption. Nothing there. Create bucket. So our bucket is created, and now it's time to go to its properties, to event notifications. So it's time when we would connect our Lambda function with this S3 bucket by trigger. Let's see. We would name it transcribe trigger. Prefix for our file would be MP3. And we would select here object creation actions. So you can see that when you put or post or copy or do something that can be considered as creation action, it should run our function, Lambda function. Destination should be our transcribe handler, as you probably know. Great. Our bucket is still empty. So if you open it, you see that no objects here, no additional folders, nothing. However, if you check your Lambda, you would see that it has now its connection with S3. You see this connection now. So when you put file into S3, it would automatically call our transcribe handler, Lambda function, and then we can see logs on our CloudWatch and file into our S3. Let's go to S3 and put our file here. So we hit upload. Then I grab this file, enjoy MP3, hit upload. Great, so it has been uploaded, and now you can see that we have this transcribed folder. Let's don't open it right now. Let's firstly check our CloudWatch. As you remember, CloudWatch is a service that allows you to monitor things. So we go to log groups. we should have here a log group that is named like our Lambda transcribe handler and log stream. So you can see here that our transcription job status is still in progress. Media format is MP3, so everything as we asked to do. Great. Now it's time to go to transcribe. As you can see here, our job has been completed, so its status is complete, and input is our S3 that we created before. Output is the same location with folder transcribed. Now it's time to go to our S3 to transcribed, and you can see here JSON file. Let me download it and check what we have here. Okay, now you can see that it is JSON, and our transcript is enjoy your journey in clouds. Hope you can see it. So we did all the things to achieve this text, and it's magic. Yeah. It's time to recap everything we did. As you remember, we put MP3, it calls Lambda, we see logs on CloudWatch. Meantime, Amazon Transcribe makes its job well, so it transcribes audio file into JSON, and then we can see it on Amazon S3 as a storage. So that is probably everything I wanted to show you today. Hope you enjoyed and hope you can make it by your own as well. And yeah, enjoy your journey in clouds. See you.
Oh, it's really awesome. It's really great to see how simple it is to actually use the machine learning, but without having much of the knowledge. Like myself, I don't come from a machine learning background, but I can still follow through the demo and see how things are doing in action and use the serverless technologies just to, put things together and build out the workflow. So that's really cool demo. We now have our guest speaker live Q&A with Elaine Contariro. Welcome, Elaine.
Hello, good morning, good evening.
Awesome. That was a really great demo, and I really enjoyed it. I hope the audience on the chat, we've been chatting away while the demo was running. I was wondering what's going to happen next and what's in the lambdas and all these questions. So I'm really enjoying having a bit of a, chat with the audience and then watching the demo. So thanks for putting it together. I have got a few questions lined up for you, and reminder for the audience, if you have any question, pop it in the chat, and Elaine is gonna be on live answering those questions. So for me, before I dive into the technical questions, I have a few questions, just with your early career and what you do before the IT in Korea. So my first question is, what were your first steps, working with the cloud technology? What's your experience like?
Yep, so I have over 3 years of experience with as a developer, and I started as a front-end developer, and my first intention was to find a way to show my first static website to the world, because when you run your thing on your local machine, you just see it via local host. However, I wanted to host it on internet, and then I started to find a way, and my first helper was AWS, Amazon S3, that allows you to host your static website. So it was my very first step when I did it via different manuals and documentation, and it was my very first experience. Then I started to think, I probably need something to make it more efficient when I show it in different regions. So I started to work with Route 53, and there were my very first steps in cloud. And then when I joined to different companies, especially Trend Micro, I see how deep we use it, different services, their integrations, and yeah, so from very first steps, I then continued to AWS certification, and probably I could recommend to start from certification first because it helps you to understand how things work. So my way was not that strict, but I did it very hands-on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. You started out the static website and you're thinking of how I can improve this, like how can I make it more efficient? And then you really get hands-on. I really like that part. You get hands-on and actually building it out, and then finding a ways to make it better. So I think that's really cool. In the earlier in the demo, in your presentation, you also talk about mentoring. So how did you get into mentoring? And when you think about giving back to the community, what makes you to think that like this is your your time that you give back to the community and mentor more women into the IT industry? Could you share your experience with that?
Sure. Since I've started with IT and clouds, many men and women support me during my way. And I thought that I need to launch as boomerang in different direction and support others who think about shifting their career or beginning in IT. And I know how difficult this way can be, especially when you have to combine your desire to be a developer or cloud engineer with your family, some duties, another job, and many, many things like we call it life normally. Yeah, and that's why I know how difficult it might be, and I want to support every person who thinks about this. So I'm a mentor now in Girls in Tech and some other projects that think about increasing diversity among clouds and among IT area. So yeah, I think that it's very beneficial when you have persons with different experience, different thinking in IT, and yeah, that's very beneficial for project and for people too. And I want to inspire and support everyone who thinks about it.
No, that's really, really inspiring. And what you're doing is really incredible. You're giving back to the community. You've gone through the journey and you have learned from your experience. And now you're mentoring. If anyone's looking for a mentor, reach out to Elaine and she will be happy to have a chat. So now I have a questions because I was watching the demo and get a little technical on the Lambda function. And it's talking about the language on the language parameter in the Lambda functions. It doesn't necessary to describe the language in the parameter before the transcription begins, or can we do it later after the transcription? What's your experience there?
So Amazon Transcribe allows you not to put it as a mandatory option on your parameters. However, it might increase an accuracy of the transcription when you firstly describe what would be expected language. Now, Amazon Transcribe allows you to use only one language, and even English transcription might be slightly different, like British version, American, or Australian. Version. On documentation, you can see how many options of different languages you can have to transcribe your audio file. So if you would ask me, I would recommend to describe it firstly. However, it's not a mandatory. But if you think about more accurate transcription, please do it. Might have it more beneficial for you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because I saw it was a US English in your transcription parameters. So that makes sense. If you want more accuracy, do it in the beginning before the job begins. I've taken a bit of your time. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hand over to Mai. She might have some questions lined up. And Mai, do you have any questions or anything for Elaine?
Yeah, definitely. I might go to some of the audience questions here. There's one from Boodagoo. Where do I sign up to be mentored? So Yeah, that's a question for you, Elaine. Like, how do they reach out to you? Do they do that via LinkedIn? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, just ping me on LinkedIn. I'm here to help.
Awesome. And just before we go into the next question, just a big shout out to the Trend Micro crew, Luke and Pat. So they say hi to you, Elaine.
Oh, hello, my friends. Yeah, thank you. I was really happy when I joined the Trend Micro, and I feel that it's a place like my home, my second home, because team is very welcome. And we earlier told about diversity, so I see how many inputs Trend Micro makes to increase diversity inside it and across, and how many support for women the company does. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Elaine. Let's get a little bit more technical around the session. Just curious about the audio file itself, right? What's the maximum length around the audio file? I've got a few audio files I want to transcribe as well. Is there any limits around the recording length?
Yeah, so for now, you can have audio file not longer than 4 hours or specific size. As far as I remember, it's 2 gigabyte. However, you can avoid it. You can have it. You can share your audio files as streams, and length of each of them would be 4 hours. But in total, you can increase the length of your total size to very big number, and it's very beneficial when you do it this work for example, movies or series or your call center or something where you need really longer audio files or very long meeting. Hopefully they're shorter, but whatever happens, who knows.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really good to have that. 4 hours worth is quite a long time, so lots of options right there. Yeah, I'm also curious, can you transcribe an audio file with multiple voices, and can we recognize each of these speakers in that file?
Yeah, sure. So I recently learned that Amazon Transcribe allows you to do this. So you can, firstly, it's recommended to describe what would be the maximum number of people who can join the audio, or how many voices you can hear here. Because if you have somebody with close speech patterns, they might be recognized as one speaker. So if you describe how many people just can be heard on this audio file, so yeah, Amazon Transcribe would do that separately for each of them.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so I'm just going to the Twitch audience. So I've got one more question here. Oops. How did you manage to grow in your career from Angel 010 while working from home because of COVID?
Well, I know that COVID is a really bad thing for the whole community and career growth. However, I enjoy working from home. It's my personal, issue. And just before lockdown in Sydney started, in probably 1 year ago, I joined Trend Micro. And on the one hand, it was a bit stressful when you're just a beginner in a new company and you cannot meet your colleagues face to face because everybody works from home. However, I was lucky because team was very supportive, and we have a lot of online meetings and some online events. I remember when we have some corporate events that happen online. It was very cool because you have an opportunity to learn about different people in your team, not only from work perspective, but from how they act besides work, and what are these people, what are they interested in. And yeah, it was very beneficial. If we talk about other ways, well, it's a great opportunity to learn because you save a lot of time from your commute to the office and back. So please invest it in your education. For example, for my experience, I spent a lot of time to prepare myself to AWS certification, developer associate, and it was approximately 2 hours per day, just the time that I saved from this commuting. So yeah, invest it. Yeah, it gives you some opportunities. I know that in total it's bad, but it has some opportunities for you to grow your career. Yeah,
That's amazing. Certification, it's not always easy to get certifications and
Yes.
to study for it and to have time for that as well. Yeah, which is awesome. So we'll be talking about a little bit about certification soon, up next. But thank you, Elaine. I think we covered all the questions so far. Thank you, Elaine, for coming along to our show, and hope to see you at a future episode. So see you next time, Alina. We'll be hanging around. We'll
Thanks,
talk about
Ellie.
certification. But
Yeah.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
see you next time.
So that was really inspiring, and what she's doing and how she grew the career. For our viewers, I'm going to give away our viewers a homework to go and educate yourself. It's a simple tutorial. I'm gonna pop it in the chat. It's similar to what Elaine's demo about the transcribe and how you can build the really easy ML workload on AWS without having much of the ML knowledge. So go and build yourself, actually test it out. It could be even your recorded video or the audio files, and see if the transcribe service can actually give you the accurate transcript in the format. So that is what we have got for the tutorial. But is there anything that we're going to share with the audience? I know you have got some sneak peek for the training and certification people have been tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to learn more about the services that we spoke about today and more, including S3, Lambda, and Transcribe, and also build skills on cloud, you can start off by working towards your AWS certification. The best way to learn, in my opinion, is to have fun while you're at it. And I know personally, I learned a lot being hands-on rather than just reading. So what's the best way to get hands-on, have fun, and learn all at the same time? I present to you AWS Cloud Quest, which is a role-playing game. That's right, a game where you can play and learn about AWS services. So it kind of looks like Roblox or Minecraft. So let's have a look at that.
Welcome to AWS Cloud Quest Cloud Practitioner, the newest way to build your AWS skills. Cloud Quest is an open-world role-playing game that teaches you how to build real AWS solutions using cloud concepts and exercises. As a cloud practitioner, you'll venture on a journey to help the citizens in town transform their city by using cloud solutions. You can take your technical training to the next level by turning business problems into technical solutions through puzzles, simulations, and hands-on labs. As a foundational building block for skill building and career development, CloudQuest gives you control of your learning journey at your own pace. With tons of customizations, unique assignments, and game modes, CloudQuest is a continuous learning experience. You can earn rewards to unlock various character styles, pet companions, city themes, and vehicles. Dive into the world of AWS and embark on the quest.
What do you reckon, May? Do you think if you were just starting out in cloud, you'd be having fun playing this game?
Oh, definitely. It's more interactive. AWS have got a lot of documentation and white paper, which is useful, when you're actually reading through those. But if you're starting out, it could be a bit daunting, just going through all these documentation and just trying to get your head around what actually or how it actually works. So this is gonna help you to get interested, be more interactive, and clicking through things and seeing things in action. I think it's gonna be a really interesting way of learning. So in terms of talking about learning and training and certifications, we have got a range of programs if you're interested. So for example, She Builds Cloud Up. I just want to give a shout out to Donna Edwards from the Cloud Up program, who have trained over 30,000 women and globally with the free AWS certification on the Cloud Practitioner and Associate Solutions Architect. So she has done an amazing job training 30,000 people with the certification program. And there are other programs, Skill Builder, where you can have a lot of free resources like tutorials that I mentioned earlier. Go and check it out. There's this QR code on there. And then a bunch of other exam readiness and then the exam vouchers that's available on the program. So I hope you have some takeaway from this and, learn something new. And that's from the training and certification part.
Yeah, thanks, May. So it's really exciting that we have all these different ways to learn about AWS. So we hope to see you at the next episode in about a month's time. By then, we'll be live streaming from the AWS ANZ Summit in Sydney. So we'd love to hear from you around the technical topics that you'd love to hear more about. And if you identify as a woman or non-binary, we'd love to have you here as a guest on our show. And reach out to us via our LinkedIn profile or join the AWS She Builds group on LinkedIn for more events coming your way. And if you've missed our previous episodes, you can hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can scan, let me just remove that one. So let's scan the QR code on the right-hand side, just in the corner there, to subscribe to any upcoming events. This is Mai.
And this is May. Let's net out together on She Builds Tech Skill. And see you next time.
See you next time.